Hello there, and welcome to this week's edition of Crazy Critique. Now, the film I'm going to be reviewing this week is a film, again, within my series of summer blockbuster video reviews. I, of course, over the last couple months or so, reviewed Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and in the last couple of weeks, I reviewed Alien Covenant. A more lengthy review that was rather taxing to me personally. If you like to watch a man get rather emotionally distressed while reviewing something, that is a video for you. Watch my Alien Covenant review. But if you don't want to watch that, I would rather somebody just amble through a review. This is probably the one for you. So the film I'm reviewing this week is Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, or bizarrely, as it's been released here in the UK, and I'm not sure whether it is also through the rest of Europe, it is being referred to as Pirates of the Caribbean, Salazar's Revenge. Now, first of all, I'm going to comment upon that aspect of the promotion of it, because I don't quite know why they've not gone with Dead Men Tell No Tales, as they had done in the US, and I believe in the rest of the world. My only thought possibly on it is that it has, well, the second film in the series was called Dead Man's Chest. So are they trying to differentiate just in the title, not having the word dead? I don't know. But that's just a little bit of a bizarre thing to do, personally. To put Salazar in the title of your... Well, I suppose, yeah. Well, like I say, that's only a little an aesthetic thing about the film to comment upon. But it's an interesting one. So let's actually comment upon the film itself now. Unlike, as I just referred to before, Alien Covenant, where I am a massive fan of the series of films and heavily invested in them, I have a very mixed and varying view of the Pirates of the Caribbean series of films. I do love the first film. It is certainly a film that was very much a surprise of a film, wasn't it? And it was quite a joy to have experienced that type of film, which I must say you can feel within kind of the spine of this film more. Now, because obviously we know all about the reaction and sort of structural story problems that Dead Man's Chest and at World's End had, and then we had 5 years ago, was it? Yes, it was 5 years ago, On Stranger Tides, which didn't feature either Keira Knightley or Orlando Bloom's character, and did purely focus upon Johnny Depp's character of Captain Jack Sparrow and then his further adventures, if you will. So it's an interesting aspect that we seem to be coming a bit more full circle with this sort of, not reinvention, but almost a reset, as I believe even Orlando Bloom has referred to this film. A hard reset. So I'm actually a bit perplexed in my views, because like I say, I've not particularly been a big fan of the second or the third films. It had very good moments and things like that, but they were absolutely all over the place in terms of story structure and so on and so forth, and just particular redeeming qualities. But On Stranger Tides left me with such a... To say bitter would be probably a bit harsh, but it was extremely unmemorable. And considering, I suppose, they were relying purely on Johnny Depp's acting chops to carry the film, as much as Jeffrey Rush always tries to save the film, it was an interesting and disappointing experience. I can say it was an unmemorable experience. So, finally, to get on to actually reviewing this film, it took me 4 minutes to actually get into a particular aspect of this film. It's interesting because I went in with absolutely little to no expectations with this film. So, having come out of it this week, having actually thought, yeah, that was rather entertaining. Not particularly brilliant, but it wasn't particularly badly done. It was competently made, competently performed. There may be even good reason to call certain aspects of the film a bit of, I don't know, pastiche performance in a way, because the stuff about it, like I say, that is a lot, and the directors themselves of these films, like Joachim running, I'm not going to say these names right because they're Scandinavian, aren't they, or Norwegian. Joachim Roning and Espen Sandberg are the directors. And they have talked about themselves wanting to go back to the original film in terms of tone and sort of bringing those original the original chemistry of that sort of story that made it so successful and popular amongst fans before it went off into crazy whatever it did with the second and third and forgetfulness with the fourth and uninteresting stuff. So there are certainly threads in this film that certainly are a bit more, like I say, are almost pastiching what has been done with that original film. And it's a bit of a weird one, because again, I've talked a lot about sort of rehashing and redoing and a nostalgic look at sort of films, but they're not completely replicating it, but they're trying to take, I don't know, it's really hard for me to sort of, I don't know. Yeah, it's really hard for me to sort of get an absolute pinpoint on exactly what I'm trying to explain there. So, Johnny Depp is of course back as Captain Jack Sparrow. We again are returned with Geoffrey Rush as Captain Barbossa. Always entertaining when they're both on screen together. The villain of the piece in this sense of this film was Javier Bardem, the Spanish actor who plays, ironically, a Spanish captain, a dead Spanish captain, therefore a ghost pirate. Now, what is not to like about ghost pirates? We've kind of had them a bit before, and maybe that's why they were trying to bring this sort of aspect of it to it back again. There's in the form of Brenton Thwaites and Kea Scodelario. Scodelario? That probably didn't quite work well enough, pronunciation-wise, but oh well. They're clearly trying to give us a newer and younger versions of, well, given who their characters are, a Keira Knightley and a sort of Orlando Bloom dynamic. Again, with Captain Jack Sparrow in there as well, so we can see again these sort of nods to trying to get that chemistry of three particular characters together, throwing in a couple of an evil captain and so on and so forth as an adversary, and therefore hijinks commence, of course. So there are certainly some things visually that are performed wonderfully well. And there's an interesting aspect regarding a bit of the old facial technology as well that I've been going through recently, of making actors younger or even giving us actors who are dead and things like that. But there's an interesting one about having a bit of a backstory to this Captain Salazar, who Javier Bardem plays, and his links with Johnny Depp in regards to his origins and why he is effectively the villain of the piece. And it shows, we actually get a glimpse of Johnny Depp younger, it's very obvious and clear. I thought it was extremely well done as a piece of facial technology, and I've seen a lot of iffy stuff recently so far in regards to that sort of thing, so that's an interesting aspect to it as well. Like I say, there's set pieces that are, again, oh yeah, we're doing that again, okay, fair enough, okay, oh, it was quite entertaining. Not outstanding, but certainly passable. And that's kind of where I stand on this film. Not brilliant, but it's fine. I wouldn't say it sinks the series. I mean, it's certainly better than On Stranger Tides, but that wasn't going to be hard. And it's probably a bit more, I don't know, it's not as bogged down in story as much as the second and third films and where they were going. It's a bit more simplistic, yes. There's a few things where, okay, fine, play that part and put that in there. Oh, that's MacGuffin, is it? Okay. So, yeah, it's okay. It's simple as that. It's not particularly bad. I can say I did go into this film with extremely low expectations and didn't expect anything from the film. So, that is a review for you. So, yeah. Now, whether I think it's worthy of trying to do further installments in this franchise, I again would be like, it wouldn't particularly bother me if they didn't, but it wouldn't particularly bother me if they did, and it was again reasonably entertaining as it was. So yeah, you can take from it what you will. If you're a massive Pirates fan anyway, you're going to love it. If you are a bit of if you do have a bit of blockbuster fatigue, I think it will be a bit, oh, that was a bit of a, what was the point of that? But I thought it was okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't awful. Some of the dialogue was funny. It certainly was funny. But the stuff that's, yeah, okay, that's getting me from plot A to plot B, point B, even. And yeah, I don't really want more to say. It's a C, isn't it? It's a C minus, maybe even, of a film. There we go. So Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, or Salazar's Revenge, wherever you live in the world, that is the film it is. Thank you very much for watching if you have. Do please subscribe to me, because I will do more reviews in the in my Blockbuster season of reviews. It's very likely that the next one will be Wonder Woman, which I hopefully will see in the coming week. So I thank you for watching, and I hope to see and speak to you very, very soon. Thank you very much, and goodbye.